Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear Muslim, and welcome back to another episode of the beginning of the guidance, the book of the Imam ALGHAZALI, rahmatullahi alayhi. And I do apologize for being late. I had a couple in my office I couldn't abandon, so I do apologize, but thank you for understanding and being patient. May Allah reward you for that as if you were waiting for it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is writing you. That is, you're taking that as inshallah an effect of the good deeds, as the angels write to you inshallah that you're still waiting for the halaqah as you're doing the same reward inshallah. Today we're going to talk about the illness of the tongue. As we talked about again, the first qism was ta'at, the first category was the act of obedience, the second category was tark al-munhiyat, to stay away from that act of disobedience. And we talked about the senses, we talked about the eyes, we talked about the ear, but today we're going to talk about the tongue. And the tongue indeed is the one that we're going to concentrate on today, so let us dive into it. Bismillah. Here we go. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا يَغْتَبْ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا أَيُحِبُّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَنْ يَأْكُلَ لَحْمَ أَخِيهِ مَيْتًا فَكَرِهْتُمُوهُ. That in itself, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us, is enough that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a visual that you can't even imagine. That He tells you how abhorred, how disliked this action is when you talk about somebody behind their back. He says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا يَغْتَبْ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا. I'm going to explain what this means inshallah. وَلَا يَغْتَبْ, don't talk about behind, don't backbite, don't slander in that case. بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا. It says, do you like that you would eat the dead, rotten flesh aroma of your stinking corpse of a brother that died? Can you imagine that? I mean, it's a very difficult visual for anyone to understand. Can you imagine, my brothers and sisters, if you talk behind somebody's back, if somebody's not there to defend themselves? And by the way, the scholars will tell you, you know exactly what kind of person we'll talk about. They will talk about you if they talk about somebody else behind their back. As a matter of fact, Hassan al-Basri rahmatullahi alayhi, when a man came to him and he says, somebody says something about you. You know what he said? What did he say? Okay, bring it. I want to hear. What's the dirt on the streets? Bring it. Oh, how you doing? Why did you get your divorce? And all of that stuff. He says, أَلَمْ يَجِدِ الشَّيْطَانُ رَسُولًا غَيْرَكَ. Didn't shaitan find any other messenger other than you? That's terrible. Can you imagine you being now the messenger of shaitan? Wallahu Akbar. Now, I don't want you to be a messenger of shaitan. Let me tell you that. But you're a messenger of Rahman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rahman says, وَلَا يَغْتَبْ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا. And do not talk about somebody else behind their back. And the scholars will tell you, la here is nahiya. La means don't. And the scholars will tell you, the nahi is stronger than the amr. The nahi is stronger than the amr. Which means, if Allah tells you, forbids you to do something, and Prophet Muhammad forbids you to do something, is stronger than do. The don't is stronger than do. And the proof of that is when Prophet Muhammad says, مَا أَمَرْتُكُمْ بِهِ, whatever I told you do of it as much as you can. وَمَا نَهَيْتُكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُ, whatever I told you stop doing, stop. He didn't give you an option. He didn't give you an exception. He didn't give you a way out. And that's why the scholars will tell you, if the negation comes in before the confirmation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you that right off the bat. And again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you if you don't, inshallah. Even the people that we talked about last week or the last time, says even hearing that, you have to stop them, because you don't want to be an audience if someone is talking about somebody else's whatever it is. You're not the life of the party. Shaitan is putting honey on your lips. You're the man now. Oh, he's very popular, he's very funny, he's talking about somebody else behind their back. But I'll tell you what happens after that. Okay? So on Judgment Day, you're going to get so much hasanat. You know how hard to work? You know how hard to get up before Fajr and do Qiyam al-Layl? You know how hard to lower your gaze, not to lie, not to steal, not to cheat, and not to do everything else that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how to do good things that you're doing, to wake up for Fajr and come to the masajid and do everything else. Guess what? All of that hard work, gone. Just like that. Why? Because it's funny. I talked about this guy. I talked about this girl. Have you seen her hair? Did you see the running in the stocking? Where does she get her hair done? I can't believe she does this. Wallahi, you're working so hard for somebody else. The scholar says if you have to, give it to your parents, but don't do it. I'm just saying, if you have to do it. Hassan al-Basri rahmatullah alayhi, when the man, he said, he talked about me, he said, what did he do? He went with a fruit plate. When the fruit plate says, you know what? I heard you talked about me behind my back. You've given me all your good deeds in the hereafter, and that's the best what I have for you in this dunya. Here you go, there is some fruit. Thank you so much for your hasanat. Ya Allah. Can you imagine working so hard and all of a sudden, just because you said something behind somebody else's back, all of that is gone. Prophet Muhammad said, كل المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وماله عرضه. Prophet Muhammad said, everything about a Muslim for another Muslim is haram, unlawful. He says, damuhu, the bloodshed, and maluhu, the wealth, وعرضه, the chastity or the honor, So you don't talk about anybody else behind their back, period, my dear brothers and sisters. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Lubna, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Brother Abdullah Yahya, thank you for being with us and thank you for taking me in your home. So again, Prophet Muhammad says that is forbidden among them. Indeed, you don't talk about them, period. Okay, so when Prophet Muhammad was actually trying to define what was the ghaiba, he says, أَتَدْرُونَ مَا الْغِيبَةِ. You know what it is, backbiting? It says, ذِكْرُكَ أَخَاهُ بِمَا يَكْرَهُ. It says, remembering your brethren with that which he abhors, with that he dislikes. You know what? He's got, he doesn't come to Fajr, man. He's a womanizer. He's a whatever it is. But I'll give you an exception. If you're trying to do this to consult and to warn somebody, is fine. But the scholars say you have to make sure your niyyah, your intention is sincere. That means, you know what? Oh, he doesn't come to Fajr. Why are you doing this? To show that he's bad and you're good? Be careful with your niyyah, brothers and sisters. If you're trying to get somebody, or you can warn somebody else. You know, listen, man, this guy does drugs, dude. Don't hang around with him. That is allowed. Those two are allowed. And the third one is لا غيبة لعاصي لجاهر بالمعصية. Meaning that I'm not going to backbite anyone that actually does an act of disobedience in front of everyone. You know what that means? He smokes. He's in front of everyone. He drinks in front of everyone. He doesn't fast. He doesn't do anything. Not at all. In front of everyone. He doesn't care. That is no ghiba. You understand? If he al-jahir bil-ma'asiyah, la ghibata lah. So if you do something publicly that you're not even trying to hide, no ghiba. You understand? Okay, so please understand that you're also trying to get somebody to come to bring him back. So if you're trying to get somebody, listen, Brother Muhammad, we need to get Brother Abdullah back, man, because he's been on the wrong way. With the sincere intention that you're trying to help him, that is allowed. But if you're trying again to work with your intention, and that's the fine line that scholars will actually tell you. So please make sure you understand. So he says, remember him with something that is bad. He says, رَأَيْتَ إِنْ كَانَ فِي أَخِي. What about he's that? He says, إِنْ كَانَ فِيهِ فَقَدْ اغْتَبْتَهُ. If he has that bad thing and you talk about it, that's how you backbite him. وَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ فِيهِ فَقَدْ بَهَتَّ. And if he doesn't have it or she doesn't have it, now you've done bad backbiting and you lied. You lied upon him. That's double trouble. So may Allah protect us from that, inshallah. So if Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu يسمى Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam عرج فيه مرت بقوم لهم أظفار من نحاس يخمشون وجوههم وصدورهم. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went to the ascension, the journey, when he went up with Jibreel alayhi salam, he saw among the people have copper nails. You know, not trendy, ukhti. I'm not trying to tell you to get some copper nails and it's halal. It's not halal. I'm just trying to say the hadith. Prophet Muhammad saw people that had copper nails and hereafter, yes. And what they were doing, they were scratching their faces and they were scratching their chests. Go ahead. You want to go ahead? You want to use this face with backbiting somebody else? You want to get this chest, oh, so happy, ha ha ha, goggle, you know, no problems. It is so funny, my man. When I talk about this girl, when I talk about this guy, go ahead. You're going to have copper nails. You're going to be scratching your face and scratching your chest. Is it worth it? Wallahi, it's not worth it. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, قُلْ مَنْ هَؤُلَاء يَا جِبْرِيل. Who are they? Jibreel, who are these people? He says, هَؤُلَاء الَّذِينَ يَكُونُ لُحُومُ النَّاسِ وَيَقَعُونَ فِي أَعْرَاضِهِم. These are the ones that bite, that did rotten stinking aroma of a deceased corpse of your brethren. That's what Allah is talking about. And يَقَعُونَ فِي أَعْرَاضِ النَّاسِ. And you fall in their chastity and their honor, and you talk about them behind their back. That's what it's an option. Listen, I have no control over you, but you have control over this, and I tell you why. Because your ears have no gates. Your eyes have one lens, one layer of lid, and your tongue has two gates: your teeth and your lips. So before you say anything, think twice. Before it comes out from the here to the air, I want you to reroute it to your brain first. Is it going to go on my right hand side scale, left hand side scale before it goes out? Because it says like a bull coming out of a hole. A bull comes out of a hole. You try to put the bull back in the hole. It's impossible. And the scholars will tell you, you own the word before you say it. You own the word before you say it. But if you say it, it owns you. Khalas, you're owned, man. So you have to own up to it. Okay, this is Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh, Abu Zar al-Aslami, says, يا معشر من آمن بلسانه ولم يدخل الإيمان قلبه لا تغتابوا المسلمين. You know what, you say I'm a Muslim, but Iman is not in your heart, man, it's in your hand. It's like M&M or whatever you call that. So go ahead, practice what you preach, dude. Somebody talks about it. Sorry, listen, I worked so hard for my hasanat, man. Can you do me a favor, dude? Yeah, stop. I don't want to hear it. Wallahi. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, don't talk about my ashab. I want to open with arms. I want to meet them with open arms. I don't want to, you know what? Oh, this guy divorces his wife. This guy hits his wife. This guy doesn't pray. This guy lowers it. This guy womanizer. This guy drinks alcohol. Ya ammi, khalas. You know why the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in don't fish for faults and don't talk about somebody else? Anybody who knows why? Maybe you can talk about it in your comments. The real reason that the Sahaba radiallahu anhum did not talk about anyone else behind their back, you know why? Because they were too busy fixing their own faults. I have so many faults. I have to fix my own faults. Why am I looking? Why am I fishing for fault? You know what? I think that I'm an angel. Look at the halo. Duck, please. Now, without being specific, obviously we don't know. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. But I'm just saying, and you think that everybody else is wrong and you're right. Yeah, salam. MashaAllah, ya ammi. Like, you're like the Sahaba al-Kiram. Yeah, Allah. Walk in the footsteps, my man. But everybody else, no, this. Yeah. So we have to get off our horse, inshallah, and come back, inshallah. Here we go. He says, وَلَا تَتَّبُعْ عَوْرَاتَهُمْ فَإِنَّ تَبَعْ عَوْرَاتَهُم. If you follow people's shortcomings and faults and mistakes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يَتْبَعْ عَوْرَتَهُ وَيَفْتَحُ فِي بَيْتِهِ. If you follow people's shortcomings and faults and everybody else, we all do. And if you follow that, Allah will follow your own mistakes and sins and will expose you inside your own home. So why do we follow people's problems? Why do we follow people's mistakes? Why do we follow it? What does it make you feel good? Is it a psychological block? Is it justification for me to do it too? What is it exactly, Habibi, that you're trying to do? Yes, I'm not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I make dua. Nas Allah al-afwa al-afiyah. May Allah pardon us and pardon them. Forgive me and forgive them. Cure me and cure them. Otherwise you will fall into it. If you talk about them, Allah will make you make the same mistake that you're accusing the brothers and sisters of doing the same thing. Go ahead. If that's what you want, enjoy. Alhamdulillah. I'm happy for you. I'm not really, but I'm just saying, please don't go there. Prophet Muhammad says there were two people being punished in the grave. He says, إنهما لا يعذبان وما يعذبان في كبير أما أحدهما فيعذب في البول وأما الآخر فيعذب في الغيبة. Two people, the Prophet heard their punishment in the grave. He says they were not being harmed for some major sins. They're minor. One of them, he was not purifying his urine when he does. Another narration says he was not doing it on the street. He doesn't cover. The other one says that he used to talk about people behind their back. Ya ilahi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَلَا تُطِعْ كُلَّ حَلَّافٍ مَهِينٍ هَمَّازٍ مَشَّاءٍ بِنَمِيمٍ مَنَّاعٍ لِلْخَيْرِ مُعْتَدٍ أَثِيمٍ. Allah, don't follow these type of people. They talk about people behind hams and lems, you know, with the eye wink and the tongue and all of that stuff. And check this out. Have you heard? Have you seen? Allahumma musta'an. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا يدخل الجنة نمام. Those type of people will not enter Jannah. Is Jannah that easy for you just to close the door, ya ammi? La wallahi. So I'm going to close this door before I start something else. So again, in that essence, that, you know what? المشاؤون بالنميمة المفسدون في الأخير. Those shirar, Prophet ﷺ said, have I not told you who is the worst amongst you? Could you imagine, Shaykh, that shaitan is using you? You are a soldier of shaitan. You are among the worst of us. So as soon as somebody comes and says, you know what? Okay, I'm listening. So shaitan picked you? I'm happy. MashaAllah. So proud of you. You're now representing shaitan. I'm so proud. So those who make people hate each other. You know, this is la'an, ya Shaykh. Ya Ammi, may Allah help you, wallahi. My brothers and sisters, be very careful from now on, inshallah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in Surah Qaf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nothing will be said that except Raqib and Atid. Some of the scholars says it's the right angel, left angel. Some of them say they just doesn't necessarily mean their name, but it's recorded. Could you imagine now, recorded, everything you say is recorded, and you will hear it on Judgment Day. Now, again, remember, will you be proud of it or not proud of it? Is it going to be a plea for you or against you? Right hand side scale, left hand side scale. Think about it. Nothing. كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ إِثْمًا أَنْ يُحَدِّثْ بِكُلِّ مَا سَمَعَ. It is sufficient of a sin that you just say everything that you hear. Why? Did you put it through the sifter? Listen, I make the same mistakes. Sometimes I even post things without checking them. I trust the source, but obviously I made a mistake. So I, apologize for that. But we learn. We have to make sure that we don't just go ahead, pass on the rumor, the internet train, they call it. So please make sure that you're the stopper here. You do this one, inshallah. May Allah help us, inshallah. Prophet Muhammad says, "Man kana yu'min billahi wal yawmil akhir falyaqul khayran aw liyasmut." He says, if you believe in Allah on the last day, say good or be silent. And that's why some of the Sahaba, even Hassan Basri, used to be very silent for a long time. They asked him why. He said, because every time I want to say something, I think about it, it's going to go my right hand, left hand side scale. He said, Muslim is going to go left. So I be quiet. Subhanallah. Okay, so here we go. Again, when Prophet says, تَجِدُ مِنْ شِرَارِ النَّاسِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ ذُو الْوَجْهَيْنِ. The worst of types of people on Judgment Day in the front of Allah, ذُو الْوَجْهَيْنِ. They have two faces. One face when they see you, one face behind you. How many faces we have, dude? Yeah, okay, so hopefully we can have one face. What you say in secret, what you say in public, same, nothing. When you turn it back, you've seen those guys in the masjid, hey, akhi, I love you, my love, so good. As soon as they turn around, goes, yeah, ilahi. I haven't even, the guy, dude, he just hasn't left the masjid yet. And these are the guys that pray, here, Fajr and Jama'ah, Allahu Akbar. So we have to walk the talk now, brothers and sisters. We don't just pray and have this here and it doesn't mean anything. But if it doesn't reflect on your actions, your ibadah, what does it do? Remember we talked about the akhlaq? We talked about the ibadah is actually, the fruit of your ibadah is your akhlaq, your character. So you can't tell me I pray and I do qiyam and I talk about behind prayer. How does that mix? Doesn't make any sense at all. Yes? You know what? I speak French, but when I put you to the test and you don't say any word, how could that be? There's no proof. The proof is in the pudding. The proof of your ibadah is your akhlaq. So if you don't have the akhlaq, your ibadah is just done. You've gone hungry, you've gone thirsty, you've gone up and down, you're flexible, you're stretched very well, you get up at night, you don't have enough sleep. Yes, you save money on some groceries, you lose a bit of weight, but really your akhlaq is your ibadah, my brothers and sisters. So if you don't have the akhlaq when you start talking about behind people's back just because it feels good and whatever, I'm not talking about if you're madlama. I'm not talking about that. If you have somebody oppressed you, you have the right to talk about. إن الله لا يحب الجهر بالسوء إلا من ظلم من القول. Allah does not, it's fine, you can do that, but to whom? To Tom, Dick and Harry? You put on your social media and you know, ABB, all bulletin? No. You talk about the qadi, you talk about the person that's going to actually consolidate or reconcile between the two of you, or the one that has the amir, the one that will be able to say right and wrong, halal and haram. Not to every Tom, Dick and Harry. You understand, my brothers and sisters, inshallah? Okay. طيب, after this, I'm gonna finish you, inshallah. So Prophet Muhammad says, ليس المؤمن بالطعان ولا اللعان والفاحش والبذيء. A true believer is not the one that says bad words and the one that backbites you or backstabs you and the ta'an and he actually accuses you of something that is not right. Fahish, bad omen, bad actions, bad lyrics, bad words. He swears. No, this is not a true believer. Well, you know, it's not a true believer. So you can be a Muslim, but you're not a true believer. You will know yourself, inshallah. Okay, so. He says, خُذُوا مَا عَلَيْكُمْ فَإِنَّهَا مَلْعُونَ. As a matter of fact, there was one lady that said on the naqa, the camel, لَعْنَةُ. So Prophet said, take everything, this naqa is mal'una now. And if you do la'an, by the way, to anyone, he says that this la'an goes up to the heavens. And you know what? The door opens, the door closes. And if the person, he says, la'natullah alayk, whatever that you accuse of or something, that goes up and it's not, it comes back down to you. So please be careful, my brothers and sisters, what you say about others, because it comes back and it's straight back to you. May Allah protect us from that. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. طيب. I just explained that hadith. It says, لا تلعنها فإنها مأمورة. I said again, because he says the la'na comes back. Let me finish with that, inshallah. Abu Hurairah رضي الله عنه قال يا رسول الله ادعو على المشركين قال إني لم أبعث لعانا وإنما بعثت رحمة. يا سلام. Let's finish with the positive, inshallah. Some of the people asked Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم to make a la'an, to go ahead and curse. And by the way, la'an is طرد من رحمة الله, being kicked away from the mercy of Allah. So some of them, you know, because after the persecution, they had to go through, endure their old difficulties. He says, make il'an al-kafirin. Go ahead. Prophet Muhammad, the disbelievers. Prophet Muhammad says, إني لم أبعث لعانا. I am not sent to be just to curse this and curse that and curse this. And he said, وإنما بعثت رحمة. But I was sent to be rahmah. So have mercy upon others, and especially have mercy upon yourself. Not losing all your good deeds for something, but control this gate. So remember, no gates, one lid, two gates, teeth, lips with your tongue. So the lesson learned is, before you say anything, think twice. And is it worth losing your righteous deeds? Wallahi, it's not worth it. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those listening, speech and follow the best of it, to protect us. Ameen. Wa akhdaw alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallallahu alayhi wa sahbihi wa jazakumullah anna khayra. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.